So, from diagram 1A, it can be seen that the impact of the proposed reforms to the Common Agricultural Policy will be fairly minimal. In the sectors of beef, pork, and kitten, production will remain quite similar in 2008 as it did toward the turn of the millennium. Now, I'm joined by a Belgian peasant who broke into the studio because she feels so strongly that the European Union should maintain its agricultural subsidies. Madam, what is the source of your belief in this matter?
It stems from this being my mother's kitty. Her name was Betsy. We were very fond of her, but we had to eat her in the war.
Don't you feel it's unethical for richer nations to distort the market by giving them subsidies when the poor nations have very many starving farmers?
What I think is important is that we have my mother's cow. Her name was Betsy. We were very fond of her, even though we had to eat her in the war.
A compelling argument. We break now for a commercial.
Special News Bulletin. I'm Trisha Cooper. We interrupt our regular scheduled programming of analyzing European Union farm subsidies to bring you news of the most serious kind. It has been reported that Gordon Brown, the United Kingdom's Prime Minister, has been assassinated in Afghanistan this morning. To bring you more news, we go to Jeremy for a more in-depth reaction.
Yes, thank you, Annette. I'm here at Camp Bastion in Afghanistan's Helmand province. The atmosphere is incredibly tense. The base has been locked down. It's actually been hard to film for the soldiers.
Damn it, Tom! I want the tank battalion to go into the city streets.
Yes, it's been hard to film with the soldiers walking about, planning military details. They sent a small fleet of light armored vehicles into the nearby desert in an attempt to hunt down assailants. So far, the atmosphere, as I mentioned, is tense, and the British military personnel have said little, except to confirm reports that there have been both military and civilian casualties.
Jeremy, is it clear yet what exactly happened?
You're breaking up slightly, but I think you asked what happened. And the answer is that the facts have yet to be definitively confirmed. But what we do know is that Prime Minister Brown had just arrived in Afghanistan on a short visit to inspect the troops and hear a report of their mission's progress. He was staying on a joint British-Italian base in Farah, southern Afghanistan. By reports from the British military, the Prime Minister was killed when a stray RPG round exploded near his podium as he was giving a speech, killing him instantly. 14 Italian troops and 12 British soldiers were among the dead. NATO troops did respond quickly to the attack, sending a small fleet of light armored vehicles into the desert, as I mentioned.
Jeremy, the scene sounds chaotic. I can see it now. The acrid smoke, the crimson uniforms of the British troops running hither and thither, unarmed aerial vehicles on the mountain tops like little insects. Perhaps I should save that for my memoirs. In light of all the casualties, do you have any more information on the suspects, Jeremy?
Yes, I did. General McCall also announced that his forces had detained a pair of suspicious combatants who appear to be Iranian nationals. In fact, based on as yet unconfirmed eyewitness reports from several soldiers with whom I spoke, it seems that these individuals are members of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian Special Forces, if you will. Now, in addition, several radical Islamist groups have created Facebook groups in support of their cause in light of this attack. These pages essentially claim responsibility for the attack, but they seem somehow unsubstantiated by the fact that they report several inaccuracies in the description of the attack.
I need an entire squadron of tornadoes.
At this hour, it must be said that the most likely scenario for the origin of the attacks is with a special unit of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard. As shocking as this seems, it must be remembered that this particular unit is known for acting erratically in the past, a fact which some have attributed to a lack of clarity in its command structure. We all remember the abduction of British sailors from the Straits of Hormuz, international waters, by Iranian sailors last year. Those strange events seem to be explained by the likelihood that the unit was acting of its own volition, without explicit sanction from the state, as it may indeed have done here, if it indeed did it here. The unit, here. Annette.
Are there any other groups or countries in question that may have had any involvement?
Well, Annette, initial speculation based on the range of the rockets points strongly to the likelihood that the weapons were of Russian origin.
What is the reaction in Britain to all of this?
Annette, the situation is extremely sensitive. Conservative leader David Cameron has stated that his party will respect a period of national mourning. However, he was heard to comment under his breath that Gordon Brown's support levels are so low that that period of mourning may be very short indeed. He said, "When you people are ready for a leader who won't play it nice with the Terrys, you might look up your local Conservative candidate." Now, the protocol here is further complicated by the fact that Gordon Brown had not appointed the Deputy Prime Minister at the time of his assassination. So it remains to be seen what will happen with the...
All right, that's enough. MI6 here. It's not clear out now.
This has been Jeremy Daly Fluctuations. Excuse me, sir.
Jeremy, thank you for bringing us up to date on this situation. Really, to put the seriousness of the attack in perspective, the assassination of a head of state constitutes as an act of war, according to international law. It will be fascinating to see how a world only recently stunned by the assassination of Benazir Bhutto will react. I would give my Peabody Award just to be a part of that Security Council.